lies.
Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you. I'm your regular Wednesday evening host here at BodyBags. It is week 446, and we are calling this week Anchor Bay Week. We are going back in time to a time that some of us remember, many of us remember, browsing the shelves at the video store, checking out a pile of VHS tapes. For me, man, I was exploring for the first time compliments to the pages of Fangoria, their Italian section. You know, so I'm discovering names like Argento and Fulci and, Mattei and Lenzi and any one of these. But, I'm also renting, man. I'm also renting things like, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, which, for our discussion today, before 1985, there was a little company called Video Treasures. Now, and they would put out some of the early VHS stuff. But in 85, a company called Anchor Bay would come along and soak up that company and another one. And they would go on a freaking tear, man. They are like the mother of all distribution companies, man. Anchor Bay, when we were just starting to see physical media explode in terms of horror, Anchor Bay was at the forefront, man, releasing freaking tons of stuff. I think the very first movie they ever released, though, was, I think, 77, The Car. But they would go on a tear, man. They would go on a tear. And, of course, maybe the thing I prize the most in my VHS collection, of course, is the original Evil Dead trilogy, the Anchor Bay trilogy on VHS, man. This was amazing. When you go into video stores like Suncoast, man, at the peak of the VHS industry, man, and you found, all the collector's editions, widescreens, Letterboxd, they were starting to put extras on VHS tapes. I mean, it was a moment just to behold, man. And then Anchor Bay, man, put a series of these things called the Tin Set, man. And unfortunately, this is the only one I own. And it is the Evil Dead 2 tin. Now, there are several I would like to. And if you go on eBay, they're there, man, from anywhere from 25 to 35. Not that bad, really, if you wanted to grab one or two just for nostalgic reasons. But, man, you open up the tin, man, and I still got it, man. I still got it. There's your, little promo for the game coming, right? Nice little card. How freaking beautiful is that, right? And then, you got your nice book. How nice is that, man? Just look at this, man. Look at this. Got a nice book in there. And then, of course, you got, of course, the movie on DVD. And I'm telling you, man, this movie looks freaking awesome, especially when you put it into my 4K player, man. There's that little thing we call the upscale effect, man, and it's real, man. And it looks great. Now, I have heard that the 4K, of course, edition is out, and I've heard that looks absolutely amazing. But when Anchor Bay finally ran its run, I don't know, it was like 2000 something, early 2000s maybe, when their run is finally out, Anchor Bay, I don't know if, by the way, that is the back of it. I don't know if you know this, but Anchor Bay ended up being folded into a company that would go on to re-release a lot of the old Anchor Bay stuff. And, of course, that is, if you see that right there, what is that? Lionsgate, right? They would go on to put out the 40th, is this the 40th? No, I'm sorry. Yeah, what is it? I can't even see, man. The 25th anniversary edition of The Evil Dead here on blue. And talking about iconic poster art, man. And so Anchor Bay, though, man, Anchor Bay, they were a company that, man, I'm telling you, their name was on so much horror for that one moment in time. But they laid the foundation for everyone else that would come after. And today, of course, if you're into physical media, and I would imagine most of you are who are watching this, well, then, man, today we're just, swallowed up in the, in just a sea of distribution companies. Arrow and 88 Films and Indicator, and you just go on and on and on. Scream Factory, maybe Scream. If there was ever an equivalent to Anchor Bay in this day and age, I don't know, maybe it is Scream Factory, man. They are a pretty big freaking company. But we got a lot of other freaking companies right around them. And then other ones people don't normally think about too much. Eureka and others, man. Blue Underground, man. Blue Underground's got quite a selection. Okay, that's one small selection that I'm actually building on. I think I got, geez, I don't know how many titles I got off of that right now. It's a pretty big section on my case back there, Blue Underground. But anyways, Evil Dead, just, I mean, do I really need to go into the Evil Dead Part 2? I mean, Sam Raimi and company, K&B Special Effects, Mark Shostrom, remember? He's in there, part of that. Of course, I think his big film, his big one that I know him from, I mean, really appreciate his work, is Phantasm Part 2. But he's part of that crew, man. K&B, Kurtzman, Berger, and Nicotero, which I got to see Nicotero. Well, I didn't meet him, but I did see him at a convention a year or so ago down in near Pittsburgh, which was really freaking awesome, man. And I got a glimpse of the great Tom Savini there as well. So, I mean, Anchor Bay, man, for those of us growing up walking into the video stores, it is, man, it was. But Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2. Sam Raimi, man, it's like, what do you call Evil Dead 2? It doesn't play the part of a direct sequel. It's not like completely separated from the original Evil Dead that came out, but it does have a more direct sequel, of course, The Army of Darkness, right, that comes out after. But what, I mean, Evil Dead 2 is, man, it's just like, it's almost kind of like you watch the Evil Dead, but then it's like Evil Dead freaking times 100 or something, man. I saw this, I think the first time I ever saw Evil Dead 2, I was a kid, rented it out of the video store, VHS, of course, and I'm telling you, me and my buddy sat there in his living room, and we watched it probably on a 25-inch console TV. Those were usually the biggest TVs back in the day, and I'm telling you, I laughed so freaking hard, I fell and hit the floor. I am not exaggerating. I hit the floor, grabbing my stomach, just freaking laughing. I could not stop laughing. It was the funniest, it was the most outrageous thing I had ever seen in my entire life, man. It was freaking out of this world, freaking awesome. And Sam Raimi, man, I mean, we're what, 2022, man, and he's at it again, man. He's still in the limelight, and he's dipping his hands back into some horror with Doctor Strange 2 in the madness thing, right, going on, right? I've not seen it yet, man, but I'm definitely going, I'm hearing good things about it. But Sam Raimi, man, I mean, freaking Evil Dead, man, Evil Dead 2. So, you know, you got Ash, you know, he's with Linda, you know, they're going back to the cabin, but are they really going back to the cabin, or is this really just another view of the original Evil Dead from a different perspective, slightly different perspective, a little bit more story? The special effects are just out of this freaking world, man. I mean, the setup is like freaking 10 seconds, man. They're in there, man. He finds the recording. He turns it on. He doesn't know any better, man. And then the professor, man, who him and his wife have been living there, he's found the Book of the Dead, man, and he's like freaking just translating it on tape, man. And as the voice comes out, of course, we're camera, you know, the force cam, whatever, out there, man. And you can just say the dead are waking up, man. It is fast. It's ferocious, man. This thing comes flying through, man. The house grabs Linda, off with her, and his whole world is turned right upside down. And it just like, it goes full freaking speed from there on. This movie, man, this movie really does not lose much of its edge at all. I mean, you know, am I rolling around on the floor like I did as a punk teenager? No, I'm not. But, man, I am appreciating this movie in ways that, man, still today, all these years later, it is just a feast for the eyes. Watching Bruce Campbell take on the Evil Dead, man, and just go out, when his hand turns, man, when his hand goes bad, that whole freaking scene is freaking great, man. The chainsaw lopping it off, putting it under the thing, a farewell to arms. How freaking great is that, man? Just the Lovecraftian supernaturalism of this movie, which I'm going to say, man, that is where the remake really got this wrong, man. They you know, too many, you know, the drug metaphor and everything else, and trying to just do too much, the prologue at the beginning, it just, I don't know, that movie could have been so much more if it just would have just relied on the very basic foundation that is the Evil Dead, man. It is Lovecraftian to the core. It is this thing from another dimension trying to break its way through into our world. I mean, that's Lovecraft, man. And, I mean, just so many great scenes in that freaking movie, man. And then, of course, the whole time portal at the end, man. It's freaking... I don't know. Is there anything better than the freaking Evil Dead Part 2? Is it better than the original? I hate... People say it, man. People say it is. I hate putting a sequel ahead. I know we love to do it with Aliens. Some do, you know. But, man, is there anything really better than the original Alien from '79? Is there anything better than really the original Evil Dead? I mean, that was an assault on the senses as well. But Evil Dead 2, man, man, it looks at what it came before and it just said... Let's do this again, but this time, let's make the roller coaster 3 times as big, 3 times as fast, 3 times as ferocious, way more blood. Henrietta that whole scene when Henrietta comes up, of course, Ted Raimi in the suit, man, dropping a gallon of sweat. Man, it's freaking awesome. Just the practical work that went into this film and what they created is freaking mind-blowing at freaking best, man. It is mind-blowing what they were able to do just with a camera out in the woods, the special effects, the story. Oh man, I could just freaking Evil Dead freaking Part 2. And I love Army of Darkness. I freaking love that, man. I just freaking the whole trilogy, man, from start to finish. This was a new edition. My trilogy was incomplete. I was in a place called Second and Charles, which never puts VHS tapes on the shelf. This is just a few years ago. And I couldn't believe it. I come around the corner. I was scoping out the horror section. And I'm telling you, out the corner of my eye, you know how it is, man. You just see something out of the corner of your eye and all your senses just freaking lock in. And I'm looking down there and I'm like, what the freak is that? And so I reached down, I put like, Evil Dead, Anchor Bay. Oh, my trilogy's complete. How much? It was like $3. I must have been just gloating like a little kid, man. Trembling, holding it in my hands, man. And there's a kid down the aisle working, putting stuff up on the shelf, man. He sees me. He comes down laughing, man. He's like, man, I was hoping someone would find that. So I got the story. He got it in a shipment. And they're not even supposed to. They're not even allowed to put a VHS tape up on the shelf. But he did anyways. I knew it would sell. I knew somebody like you would be in here. They would see it and they would just grab it. $3? Are you kidding me? And, you know, and I got the trilogy complete, man. Anchor Bay. This one, and those two I've had forever. But for whatever reason, that one, you know, always eluded me. But, and then, of course, you know, you got the, you know, the wonderful tin from the old days. And I do need to get a couple of those. I'm not going to try to collect the whole set or anything. But Anchor Bay, man. And this is all Anchor Bay week, man. It's going to be fun just watching these reviews drop left and right, man. Just celebrating. Maybe the company that we all need to tip our hat to, man, because Anchor Bay is the one. They were the pioneer that forged a path in the wilderness of physical media, just releasing things left and freaking right. Man, my appreciation for Anchor Bay knows no bounds, man. I freaking love it. And just, I mean, their logo, right? I mean, who could ever miss their logo when you're out shopping? And, but if it's not for companies like Video Treasures, man, I mean, you know, they were in the game early on, man. They forged a little bit of a path themselves, but then Anchor Bay, man, really just came in and just ran with it. So it's Anchor Bay week, all week. My film, never been reviewed before, Evil Dead 2. I didn't really want to get into the movie a whole lot. I don't know. If you've never seen the Evil Dead Part 2, yeah. We're just going to leave it at that, man. As always, thank you for your support. Thank you for being plugged in and watching us week in and week out. Without you, we just wouldn't be here probably. I don't know. But anyways, we always leave these things off with Go Bills.
This is not a dream. Not a dream.